Hello YouTube, how's it going? Welcome to today's Wild Rift video, and these are back. I'm breaking down and analyzing, I should say, and keep on saying that over and over again, and analyzing my gameplay and showing you guys a few tips and tricks. So for today, we're going to be taking a look at this Lucian gameplay. I was in bot lane with Leona, and we were against a Varus Janna. Now, obviously, Lucian Leona is a very, very aggressive combo in the bot lane, and Varus and Janna most of the time just want to sit back, poke out, and everything. So it's all about in this lane the Leona trying to find them opportunities to try and go onto the Varus and the Janna and try and make them big, massive plays. Now, obviously, with Lucian still being one of the best AD carries at the moment. As you can see, the main thing in the laning phase is using your first ability and trying to line it up so then you hit the champions at the same time as the minions. You'll see me do this a lot during this game, as you can see, and then I auto attack and I double up onto the enemy champion. I just want to go back there and quickly explain that a little bit more. I'm going to do this a couple of times, but this is one of the most important things with Lucian. So as you can see, my first ability I use to make sure I hit my Varus, and then straight after that I target lock the Varus with my target lock obviously section on the screen, and I use that to use my passive to double up to deal even more damage on the Varus. Now sometimes you have to be a little bit careful, because when you auto attack champions, minions will aggro on you, but it won't actually work if you land abilities on a champion. So sometimes there might be a case where you actually auto attack a champion and you actually get a worse trade out of it because the minions will do more damage to you. But most of the time, that's what you want to do in laning phase with Lucian. You want to be aggressive. You want to use your first ability, as you see there, to try and land it on the champion, and then use your auto attack, your passive, straight afterwards, and try and deal a lot of damage. As you can see, Leona going in here to try and kill the Janna off. I try and dash in to deal a little bit of extra damage, but unfortunately, I couldn't finish him off. But that's all about what this laning phase is about, and it's all about what Lucian and Leona are about, and why these two are such a great combo in the bot lane. Obviously, Lucian wants to play really aggressive because he has a lot of early game damage, and so does Leona at the same time as well. Both of them have a lot of early game damage, and they want to play aggressive to try and make them plays. But as you can see here, we're a little bit low. We're obviously going to be warding in the tri-bush. Tri-bush is probably the best place to ward on this side of the map when you're in the top lane. Pretty much gives you vision of everything. If the jungle is going to be coming down, if any of the mid lane is going to be coming down or anything like that, it's kind of the best place to ward. Or you can ward in the bush just below as well. As you can see, Leona trying to go in for another engage there. Unfortunately, can't get anything working. But I use my first ability again there to try and poke out the champion. So I need to take a quick drink. So I'm going to be talking a lot today. Obviously, if you enjoy this type of content, if you're enjoying all of this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And there we go. We get a nice, easy kill there onto the Janna, and Vi did really well there to go around the lane, so it's what's called a lane gank. So what you do is, instead of going from the jungle, you actually walk around, you walk through the lane into the lane brush, and then you use that to try and gank. So obviously, she did really, really well there to try and get them kills. But yeah, as I release this video, I will probably be away. I'm away for a week starting the 16th of August, I believe it is. I can't actually remember the date now. Yeah, 16th of August I'm away, so I'm pre-recording all this content. Obviously pre-recorded, it's going to be a bit weird, but but yeah, we'll be pre-recording all this content, making sure that I still get content out daily for you all. And making sure that I give you all some tips and tricks along the way as well, because obviously it is still quite an early stage at the moment in terms of Wild Rift, and it's always nice to get them early tips and tricks in to help you guys out, obviously with Lucian as well, since Lucian is quite a new champion as well. But obviously now we're ahead in the laning phase, so I'm trying to pressure here onto the tower, trying to get them on the tower so that they can't really move out a lane. And obviously, as you can see, we're kind of hovering around the jungle at the same time. This is kind of what you want to do. You don't really want to be sitting in lane when you're pushing the minions on the tower, because you don't want to get caught underneath the tower. If I stay underneath the tower when I push in the lane, then we could get caught by Varus ulti, a gank, or anything like that. So as you can see, as we're pushing in the lane underneath the tower, me and Leona are walking to the river every single time. This means that we can always get vision on the jungler if they're there. We can also obviously ward if we need to as well, but we're also not in a position where we kind of get caught out. Obviously here I move into the mid lane because I see that my Twisted Fate is ulti top lane. So I want to make sure that we actually get these minions and get the XP in the mid lane. And I'm probably going to use my ultimate here. No, I don't have to use my ultimate. I'm surprised. Surprised I didn't use my ultimate here, but I push out this wave. So then the Kha'Zix actually can't rotate. Here is when I use my ultimate. And I think I actually try and jump on the Kha'Zix here. I think he actually goes in. Yeah, he goes in and steals the dragon, which is a little bit unfortunate, but my team did really well to kind of follow up and get the kills anyway. So I was trying to obviously push out the mid wave, so then the Kha'Zix had to defend the mid wave, but instead he went for the steal. He got the steal, so fair play to that Kha'Zix. Obviously, I was trying my best to try and keep him off the dragon, but he just wasn't having any of it. He was just determined to try and go onto that dragon, which was kind of a really, really well played situation there. Ezreal trying to jump in there. Sorry, not Ezreal. Zed trying to jump in there as well. And obviously we're using our combo quite well to deal a lot of damage. And the long range TF card was able to secure that kill. Now obviously I wasted flash there, but I didn't realize that the TF was going to do enough damage to kill off the Kha'Zix. But the main important thing to note there was that I actually went from base to the mid lane. Now obviously you need to look at your minimap all the time. Obviously I realized that Vi, TF and Leona were all top lane, and there was a mid lane wave that needed to get pushed out. So obviously I know from my situation that there's 3 people top lane. There's no point in me going top because I'm not going to get anything out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go mid lane. I'm going to create another pressure point in mid lane because the dragon's coming up soon. But Kha'Zix was just having none of it. He just went full aggro and just went full Rambo onto the dragon. But that's what you kind of want to do. You want to look at your minimap all the time, see where your team is, see how you can adapt to the game as well. Obviously, I've got my Essence Reaver as the first item, and I currently now have my boots upgrade. Now, Hextech is a really, really good boots upgrade with Lucian because you have that another dash. So you can use your third ability and the Hextech Proto Belt to do, you know, even more damage, and obviously do quite a lot in terms of dashing and being even more mobile. Zed, unfortunately, tries to go in for a kill there, but can't get anything off. But it's really nice sometimes to get an early boots upgrade with Lucian because you can get that extra dash, which is really important when dashing in or even trying to escape at the same time. You'll see me use it in a couple of times this game, and you'll see how well it actually does at the same time. Obviously, they went in here onto the Leona, but unfortunately, there's nothing they could have done there on Leona because she's quite tanky. I used my Hextech there or my Proto Belt, sorry, to try and obviously move out the way of the Varus, so then he can't hit his first ability, which I think I dodged it. I can't actually remember. But my plan there was to try and ultimate the Janna, but I wasn't actually able to ultimate the Janna because I couldn't really get... One, I couldn't really get an angle, and 2, if I use my ultimate there, I'm probably dead to the Varus, and I don't actually guarantee the kill on the Janna. But that was kind of my mindset. My mindset was to use a Proto Belt so I can get an angle on the Janna so then I can kill her off. But obviously, the Varus can just stand in front of it. So that's why I didn't decide to use my ultimate in the end, and instead I decided to try and kite back and keep myself alive and try not to give away any kills. But now, obviously, moving on to the Solari Charge Blade. Obviously, such a strong item right now. This item is completely insane. Probably the strongest item that they actually brought out to League Wild Rift in patch 2.4. But nothing's really happening here. Obviously, we got the dragon up in about 30 seconds time. So my main priority here is to push this wave, as you can see, as fast as possible under the tower. So then their bot lane can't do anything. So this is what you have to do. You have to apply pressure in the lane. Obviously, use this pressure to then move into the dragon pit to try and get some vision. Probably not the best thing for what I'm doing at the moment, trying to get pressure in the lane and trying to push in under tower. But obviously, as you can see, another ward there. And as you can see, their bot lane can't move underneath their tower. If they move underneath their tower, the Leona's going to jump onto them and probably get the nice easy kills. But again, as you can see, we're pushing the wave underneath the tower. So then what they have to do is they have to actually make plays and try and obviously use the pushing power of the Varus to try and kind of counter push the lane so they're not actually pushed under the tower the whole time. Obviously getting poked out quite a bit by the Varus. And obviously mid lane are going a bit too crazy, but I think the best thing we could have done here was taken the dragon. But the Vi went... Excuse me. The Vi went pretty crazy. We're still going for this dragon. I'm not really too sure if this is the best play to do. I can't actually remember what happens here. As you can see, every single time I'm using my ability, I'm using my passive. And as you can see, we get the dragon nice and easy. I think it's because the Vi actually killed their jungler underneath the tower, so they didn't really have any way of stealing it with a smite. Maybe could have used like a Varus Q or something to try and steal it, because the Vi was really, really low. But yeah, not too bad. Obviously, there you go. There's another great example there of me using my Proto Belt to keep myself alive. Obviously, me having another dash there is really, really nice. I'm using my ultimate now to try and zone away the champions so they can't really do anything. And obviously, every single time I'm using the ability, I'm making sure I auto-attack in between as well. And obviously, with Lucian and his passive, you want to make sure you auto-attack every single time you use an ability. So you get more damage, but also you get that reduced cooldown as well on your third ability. But that was a great way there of showing how good Proto Belt is. I was able to dodge out of the Varus ultimate, which was really, really nice. And as you can see, we're playing support Lucian this game. 0, 0, and 6. We haven't really got any kills at the moment, but we are getting them assists underneath the belt. But you know what? Sometimes this is the case where sometimes you won't get kills as AD carries, but you still will deal with the most damage. So even though you don't have kills, you still need to be careful when, you know, playing aggressive and trying to make them plays, because you are still very squishy. You are still building a lot of damage, and you will still die very, very quickly. Obviously here I'm pushing out mid lane because I know that my top lane, in the top lane, sorry, my team are trying to push down the wave in top lane. So I have this little bit of free time to get a plate in the mid lane, which is really, really nice. And yeah, not really much is happening. Obviously, we're pressuring all three lanes now, which is the most important thing, and probably a tip I would give to all of you. If you see your team in another lane and you can't get to that lane in time, it's always good to try and push down another lane instead. Obviously, this Kha'Zix is trying to jump onto me. I'm using my abilities and using my dashes to kite back and get that nice, easy, well, I say easy, a very, very clutch kill. Now, I kind of wanted to go back to this play, and kind of the reason why I wanted to actually cover this gameplay in total, because I wanted to kind of show you what you can do with Lucian and his combos. Now, as you can see here, I've used my dash. My dash is on a 5-second cooldown at the moment, but I still have the passive. So what I do here is I use my double tap from my third ability to obviously get that nice little bit of extra damage. I use my Proto Belt to kite backwards on the Kha'Zix, and as you can see, every single time I'm using an ability, kind of a bit fast here. I can't really slow this down, to be honest. Kind of a bit fast, but as you can see, I use my second ability, I auto attack. I use my first ability, I auto attack, and by the time me doing all of this, I have my third ability back up again, which is crazy. And it shows how strong Lucian is, that I'm able to 1v1 Kha'Zix, even though he's isolated. So I'm using my second ability, I'm using my first ability, auto attack, and I'm able to use my third ability to dash away as well. So this is the main thing with Lucian, is you want to use your abilities and auto attack in between, so you have all these dashes, so you're able to kite back, you're able to obviously play a little bit safer, and you're able to make plays like that, which is really, really nice. And it shows how good Proto Belt is there as well, because honestly, if I didn't have Proto Belt there, I probably wouldn't have gotten into a situation where I was able to, you know, peel back from the Kha'Zix and obviously not get into his auto attack range. Obviously, if I didn't have Proto Belt there, I was in the Kha'Zix auto attack range, and I probably would have gotten killed by the isolated damage from Kha'Zix. But because of my Proto Belt, because I was able to, you know, use my passive and use my third ability to dash away even more, I was able to, you know, kite back and kind of peel away from the Kha'Zix, which was quite a nice play overall. And like I said, shows how strong Lucian is. As you can see, not really much else is happening here, to be fair. This is not really the best play that we're doing at the moment, kind of forces down this mid lane tower. It's not the worst, but it's obviously not the best play either. The best tip I would say here to do is to kind of pressure the Baron here. Is probably the best thing, because we're so far ahead, 23 kills to 8. The best thing to do here is probably pressure the Baron and try and get them plays on the Baron, because obviously Baron is such a huge thing, trying to get that into the into pushing down the lanes and getting that into the mid and the late game. Obviously here we're just taking huge risks at the moment that we probably don't need to take, but we're so far ahead at this point, and we're probably completely fine. Obviously, TF gets caught here, unfortunately, stepping up a little bit too far, which is a little bit unfortunate. I wonder here if I wait for Infinity Edge. I think I do, yeah. So I got 50 gold here until Infinity Edge. Oh, I don't wait. That's probably because I realized that I'm pushing down mid lane. But I got 50 gold here until Infinity Edge, so I could have waited. But I kind of wanted to make sure that they didn't push any further into the game. Or into the lane, sorry. Vi does a really sneaky play here, which is really, really nice. Vi's actually going full lethality this game, which is a kind of crazy build. Obviously a very, very fun build as well if you wanted to go for that sort of build. Now, unfortunately, I stepped a little bit too far here. But again, it really shows you how with Lucian, as you can see, I'm able to kite and survive for that long and obviously dodge the Gragas body slam. And honestly, if it was just the Gragas and not the Varus Q at the same time, I probably would have survived and actually killed the Gragas. But a little bit of an excuse me. A little bit of an overstep there. I didn't realize Gragas was in that bush. Obviously, before I only saw the Varus and the Janna in their jungle. So I thought that I could have made like a cheeky outplay. Obviously, a little bit of an overstep for me that probably didn't need to happen, but I didn't really realize that the Gragas was there. And as you can see, we're kind of overstepping a little bit at the moment, kind of making these bad misplays. And the problem is with this game is that if you do keep making mistakes like this, the problem is that because games lost, like they you know, they can change so quickly. The game time is so quick, and obviously the death timers are a lot longer. The game goes on as well. And obviously it's a short amount of time compared to like PC League as well. So if you do make these mistakes at 15, 16 minutes, sometimes the enemy team can just dash in and just push the lane and basically just, you know, win the game off of one push, which is kind of the crazy thing. Nice little dash there onto the onto Zed, secures that kill for us. The most important thing about this play with the Zed is that you see how I saved my dashes. Obviously I used it here. But you see how I saved my dash kind of right at the end as well. I'm not using my dash here. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for my for the Zed, to use his ultimate. And as soon as he uses his ultimate, I dash away. Because I know, obviously with Zed, when Zed uses ultimate, he wants to land abilities afterwards. Then his ultimate does more damage. So what I do here is I save my third ability the whole time, and I wait until after his ultimate, because I know that afterwards he's going to use his first ability, use his third ability to try and deal more damage. What I do here is I dash as soon as he uses his first ability. So as you can see, he does no damage to me at all. But his ultimate is actually going to deal, as you can see, no damage to me at all. But if I used my dash before, and if Zed actually realized that I used my dash and actually went in when I didn't have my dash available, he probably could have done a lot more damage to me, and probably maybe could have even killed me with the amount of damage. So obviously it's about knowing what the enemy champions do, and obviously knowing when to use your dashes. Obviously you have like a third dash pretty much with your flash and with your proto belt. And this is a oh god, excuse me again. This is a play that we probably could have done like 5 minutes ago, if I'm totally honest with you. Is this Baron play? Obviously I'm quite low on HP, so I need to be a little bit careful. Obviously we're able to make the plays. I'm obviously moving out of the Varus ultimate. I'm doing these crazy plays here that I probably shouldn't be doing. I'm pushing up on this low HP, so I think I back off after a while. Yeah, this is probably something that we probably could have done a long time ago. And yeah, unfortunately Zed does get the kill on me in the end. Because I did overstay there. It was a misplay from my behalf. After the Baron, I should have probably gone back to base and healed. But my whole team's going in. My whole team's going just absolutely crazy. This Vi is just completely popping off at the moment, which is kind of mental. But yeah, a bit of a misplay again. A bit of an overstep, which some people classically know me by. Is that I do overstep quite a bit. And I do kind of make plays that I probably shouldn't make, and I kind of limit test quite a lot. Obviously you'll see here the damage of Vi. I keep yawning today, I don't know why, probably because I'm tired. That's probably the reason. Vi does absolute crazy damage, by the way, like full lethality Vi. I didn't actually realize before this game how much full lethality Vi does. Riven kills off the Kha'Zix there, which is quite a nice play. Yeah, full lethality Vi is kind of crazy. As you can see, he actually does quite a lot of damage, which is kind of disgusting. Obviously, we're waiting here for the Soraya's Grudge. Soraya's Grudge is still a great item in for Lucian. Obviously, because of his ultimate, he's able to basically hit every single part of his ultimate because of the slows, dealing even more damage. As you can see here, I'm kind of waiting here, kind of farming up the jungle, getting that little bit of extra gold so I can work towards my final item. Because no one else is taking jungle, so, you know, why not I take it? And obviously blue buff does work quite well with Lucian because of the cooldown reduction and because of the healing as well at the same time. So the main thing we're waiting for here now is we're waiting for the dragon. The dragon is obviously the big next objective to come up. I think it's Elder. I'm not actually too sure if it's Elder or not. I could be wrong here. I have to wait in 10 seconds to see. But again, this Vi is looking for this. Look at that one shot. Oh, that Vi damage is absolutely disgusting. As you can see here, this is the power of Soraina's Grudge. Is using your ultimate there to be able to land every single shot. And as you can see, they can't do anything. And as you can see, we get a nice cheeky little double kill there. But I kind of want to go back there quickly and kind of show you the power of Soraina's Grudge. Now, obviously, you need to make sure that you land every single part of your ultimate. But when you do, as you can see, it's slowing down Varus the whole time. So if you don't have flash, if you don't have any mobility, you're basically stuck with Lucian. Like, there's nothing you can do at all. And as you can see here, every time I use an ability here, I make sure I use my my auto attack. So I dash in, use my auto attack. I use my first ability, I go onto Z, and I use my auto attack. Dash in, auto attack. Second ability, auto attack. As you can see, and we do get quite a lot of damage there onto the Z. And I think this is where, yeah, they surrender and we finish off the game. So as you can see, you can play quite aggressive with Lucian, but obviously try not to make as many crazy plays as what I do, because sometimes I do misplay. I do kind of make mistakes here and there. But overall, Lucian is still just such a strong champion at the moment. As you can see, we do get ourselves into Diamond 2, I think, that stream, which is quite nice. We like our teammates because why not? As you can see in this endgame screen, the Vi does absolutely disgusting damage, 20-1. Ghostblade, Dustblade, Trinity Force, absolutely crazy. And obviously, my build is very similar to the guide that I showed you guys before. But yeah, anyway, that is it for today's little rundown gameplay. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you do want more of these guides, please do let me know. Let me know what champions you want to see. But yeah, it's just more of an in-depth look at champions and more in terms of tips and tricks and kind of helping you guys out. Yeah, as always, stay safe and I'll see you all very soon. Peace out.